everyone, this is Jennifer Stay from Coloring Pages Bliss, and welcome to video number 4 of my gel pen coloring series. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you that in the description of this video is a link to my website where you can find a set of printable worksheets. I have created these for you to practice the tips and techniques I'm about to demonstrate. I also have weekly live coloring events on Wednesday on my Facebook page, and I will be demonstrating a lot of these techniques and doing a lot of fun coloring, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and join my fun coloring community. Okay, let's get started. Now, if you've seen any of my other gel pen videos on my YouTube channel, you have seen my secret weapon, the silicone spatula. So in the description of this video, there is a link to that video, and you can pop over and learn all about this secret weapon. You're going to want a tool for smearing your gel pens. Now, you can use your finger, you can use an eraser, there's all kinds of tools you can use. My favorite is a silicone spatula. They're inexpensive. You can hit your dollar store and find one just like this. Now, you can pull off the ends on this spatula, and a lot of them come this way. And then the spatula is easy to drop into your coloring bag or your pencil case and take it with you, and you have your tool ready to go for this smear technique that you are going to love. And so grab yourself a tool and let's start smearing. Also on my website is this really fun little worksheet, and it's going to give you lots of areas where you can practice the smear technique and get some good hands-on experience before you take this smear to your coloring pages. And there's also some quick tips and some cute little bird for you to color. So come on over to my website and check it out. Now, the smear technique was born because I heard a lot of complaining that they did not like the gel pens because they smear. Now, gel pens are a wet media, and they do smear when you put them down because it takes them a little time to dry. Some gel pens have additives in them so that they have a quicker dry time than other pens. And so there are gel pens that won't smear like this one does. And you want, for this technique, to find the juiciest, most smearable pen possible. I love a juicy smearing pen. One of my most favorite pens you can find at the dollar store, and it smears and does all kinds of really great things. And so I go to the dollar store all the time and look for these pens, and because they're just so great, they smear so beautifully and do all kinds of great things. So pull out those smearing pens for this technique. You also want to use kind of a slippery, smooth page for this technique. Some of the techniques we use, you'll want to use a more textured paper, but for this one, a smooth paper is best. Now, the reason the silicone spatula works great is because the silicone in the spatula repels the gel and keeps the gel on the paper rather than on you. Now, you can, like I said, use your fingers for smearing, and I used to do that all the time, like in some of my videos. But when I discovered the silicone, you can do it with the silicone, and the smear stays on the paper rather than on you. Now, where I use the smear technique is in blending, and instead of doing just a scribble, you can actually smear the ink and get a nice smooth blending effect. So there are times when it comes in really handy. Let me draw a little flower and we will demonstrate this. Now, of course, in my little flower here, I could just come in and color my petal, or like we saw in video 2, we could fill it with a texture or a doodle. We could do a scribble blending like we did in video number 3, or we could try a smear blending like I'm going to demonstrate here in video number 4. And the way we do that is by laying down a nice wet puddle of the gel, and then use the silicone spatula to pull that puddle out, and you get a beautiful smear, and it gives you almost a variegated look of that gel, and it's really pretty and it goes really quickly, and you use less gel, and I think it's just gorgeous. And there's different ways to do this. Like then I could fill in this little spot here and pull it this way. The only trick with this is it can be a little tricky to control. So you can have gel going out of areas because sometimes the gel will just smear really easily. So you do want to practice. That's where that worksheet is going to come in handy for you. And then you could come in with, say, a gold and smear it back the other direction. And where it overlaps, especially some of the gel pens have a translucent nature, and so the overlapping is going to give you some really pretty effects. There, really pretty. Okay, I'm going to experiment with some smearing in these other petals, and then I'll report back to you what I learned. Okay, so one of the things that I discovered with our smear technique is that periodically you ought to check your silicone spatula and make sure you wipe off any excess that might be building up on there. You can use a tissue or just use your hands if you're like me and you don't mind getting a little color on your hands. It's kind of fun. Now we also learned that you can use the spatula to help spread the ink, the gel, so that you get a nice lighter look of the gel, and that's kind of fun. It makes the gel go farther. I was using it here to get a nice different look with the different textures inside the petal and inside the leaf, and that was fun. And we were using it to mix the different kinds of gel as well, the metallics and the glitters, and to get different effects. So lots of different things to do with the smearing with our silicone spatula. So much fun. So embrace the smear, have some fun with it. If you enjoyed this video, please take a second to hit that like button and leave me a comment before moving on to video number 5, where we're going to talk about the power of a base layer underneath our gel pens. Thanks for watching my gel pen coloring series, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.